All right, y'all. I've just been to my very first goth show pretty much completely alone. I knew the band, the three guys in the band, None, Pedro, Francisco, and Taranis. And that was it, what they were playing, so I didn't really have anyone to hang out with, so I went by myself. I did go to Garden of Goth by myself in Costa Rica for the most part, but I got there early so I could meet Carfax ahead of time, etc., etc., etc. I wound up meeting up with the Screaming Dead. Oh my God, what wonderful people they are. But this time I was kind of like on my own, so I had my jean jacket because, um, it's cold at night here, so I had a jacket. Excuse me, fog machine. And so I had a little scarf just in case. You never know what's going to happen if you're going to hang out with people later. And I get there, and it's like half an hour after the first band's supposed to start. They haven't even let people in yet. And I'm like, okay, hello, culture shock. They give me, when I finally get up there, they give me a piece of paper that looks like a bingo card. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this, but that's fine. I explain who I am. They let me in because I guess they figured that out. And I go immediately to the bar because I have pretty severe anxiety when it comes to crowds. It's terrifying for me to be around strangers in a crowd. So at the bar, I notice somebody takes out their little bingo card and they write on it and stuff. So I'm like, okay. So when it gets to be my turn, I ask for a ginger shot, which is this cherry liqueur. It comes in a chocolate cup. I don't want the chocolate cup. I'll take the chocolate cup because their beer here has very little alcohol. And because I have some pretty severe anxiety around a bunch of strangers, I was like, I need some booze. I need some booze. Give me some booze. So I just like knocked that back and then just kind of the chocolate. And I was like, I don't want chocolate. They even put on a little silver tray. Very fancy. Everywhere you get that, it's fancy. It's like under $2 American. It was €1.50. Anyway, and then I got a beer, and they had Super Bock, and they had stout, which turns out I like because it's a much lighter weight stout, but their beer does not have much booze in it. So I had like 2 or 3 beers before the show started because I know that the beer doesn't have much booze in it. And the first show was at Capelas Das Almas, old school Portuguese goth band, and they were really good. And then None, who I went to go see because those are the people I knew there, was wonderful. Unfortunately, the sound in the venue is not the best, but I thought they were good. And I was very excited to get to see one of my favorite bands live also. And then I think Star Industry played, and unfortunately left before Nosferatu because my back, which has arthritis, I heard it last October, was fucking killing me, and my feet because I'm not used to standing and I have to build that back up. So whatever, we'll build it back up. I'm sure after I go to Vegete, I will be able to stand up for a year. I mean, I can walk a lot now, but I also don't have all my fancy insoles, and I think that that's starting to take its toll. So I wound up meeting a lovely group of women. They were very kind. And it was because I just kind of ducked into a corner because I wanted to go outside, and they weren't letting anybody outside anymore. I was like, wait, you're fucking locking us in here? Because it's in the middle of the neighborhood. And so the neighbors were like, shut up. So I couldn't go outside. So I wound up talking to these lovely women, Diana, Ines, Sonia, and Joanna. And I think someone's husband, Troy, but he was not talking that much. And a loud club, he was probably too far away for me to hear anyway. And then I actually talked to Francisco, and I talked to Pedro, and I talked to Taranis from None, and a lovely young man named Armando, who was the ticket sales guy or whatever. But people were very kind when I spoke to them because, I now have this YouTube channel, and when I need to, I can be outgoing, but I'm actually rather shy, and I don't like to talk to strangers. It's very difficult for me. So this was a big thing for me to do, and I'm pretty fucking proud of myself that I did it. I wish that I felt a little bit better and could stay longer for the Nosferatu, but there's that point where my left knee has decided that today's the day that it's going to be old, and I was like, what the hell, dude? My left knee isn't not one of my lifelong injuries. I have bad feet, so specifically standing up, makes me wish I was dead after a while. My right foot was starting to go numb, and that's always a very bad sign. When my feet start to go numb, if it's not in heels, if I've been standing for a while and then they start to go numb, then they're gonna fucking hurt for a few days. So I'll be lying around tomorrow. That's fine. I have a very comfortable bed. It's one comfortable place in my apartment, actually. That and my fancy ass chair. I have a Herman Miller office chair because I work at home. Big splurge. That's my biggest splurge in Portugal. And what the fuck? There was oh yeah, I have arthritis in my back. Because when I injured my back in October, it's just a kind of, sometimes it's not really an injury so much as your body going, oh, you have this problem and now it's going to hurt for the rest of your life. So I just had too many things going on. Plus I was wearing some ear hangers, but because I forgot to put my tunnels in, I shoved them in with these guys and I took off all my other jewelry. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my palest gray shirt. I doctored it a little bit. It's got matte black beading on it and some studs. I don't know why that seemed important at the time, but yeah, so I've crossed a milestone, and I was watching, I don't remember, it was Nun was playing and they were singing, might have been Under Your Stars Above, and all of a sudden I almost started crying because it was just all of a sudden I just had this feeling of I'm free, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Well, part of it's because I went to a goth show by myself and I realized that I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just kind of enjoy the atmosphere, have some drinks, and watch the band. And I might meet people or I might not. This time I met people, which was wonderful. And I can go and have a good time, and it's all cool. Nobody's going to beat me down or yell at me or just sit there and make a bunch of fun of me. That could be specific to Porto. I don't really know. I haven't gone to a goth show anywhere else by myself. You know, though, I was kind of mostly on my own in Costa Rica, and I had an amazing time. People in Costa Rica were just fucking wonderful to me. But people in Porto have been pretty fucking great. The ones I've actually had the time to talk to, unfortunately, my Portuguese is just shit. It's just shit. I can understand more than I can say, but I still have to translate, and then I forget what I'm thinking. I can never remember the word for only, or just, it just won't stick with me. Anyway, so this was just a short update. I met a few nice people, and I survived a show by myself. I got to see one of my all-time, definitely top 10, if not top 5 favorite goth bands. And I came home early. I'm a little disappointed in that, but whatever. I came home, let the dogs out for a potty, and I figured I'd crank out a little video while I still have my makeup's on. Because, you know, the pandemic, all the shows that I was going to go to as the pandemic was getting a little less bad got canceled. It just kept getting canceled. So I've not been to a lot of shows in the last couple of years. I've been to a few, but whatever. Anyway, so hey, thanks for watching. Until next time.